couple of things. Description box below. I'm going to keep updating. I figured this is a way to do it. I need to, and it'll become clear later, like there's an announcing and writing. Don't announce you're going to do it, just do it. I have to announce it. So yeah, this will be obvious later. If it's writing that way, down below, further down. God, I hope it's not video. I hope it's not a playlist. That'd be so embarrassing. But anyway, that way. Yeah, description box, list of things I have not forgotten, need attention. I just, there are very good reasons why I can't give them attention, and yet I can very shortly. But every attempt to say, hey, I'll deal with this, but just this thing, can't at the moment. Becomes an enormous. Anyway. So yeah, list of things I haven't forgotten, and yeah, memory. Quite a stupid thing to say to me. The second I put this on, I've got it. It's more light. It's supposed to be a good camera. It's a cheap phone. I think it's very good. I have a memory that I have a really good memory, and it would be, if anything, my problem is I don't forget things. I can't forget things, and yeah, so interesting memory. Yeah, I think playlist that way, writing that way. I'll talk later. And just another thing that's real. It's just important for me to say the thing of identity. I think again, writing that way, playlist that way. I think that people really, that identity, who they are, is very important to them. I've noticed, I don't know that they notice, but I'm this sort of, so I'm this person, and I eat at these places, not those, and I wear these clothes, not those, and yeah, it's, I never think about who I am. I can't imagine that there's an answer to that. Surely, a little bit like, being happy is when you are not pausing to reflect on whether you're happy or not. As soon as you're going, hang on, am I happy? You're probably not. Yeah, identity. Who am I? Well, that's self-evident, isn't it? I suppose, and the other authenticity. I really thought a lot. Authentic, of being your authentic self. Someone said it to me once. It was nice. I wasn't being mean. I'm my most authentic self with you. And I said, I don't know what that means. I didn't say it like that. I was like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? I don't know what that means. Authentic self doesn't mean I'm inauthentic, but I just don't know. I suppose I want to say, well, what does it feel like everywhere else where you're not as authentic as you are now? I did do a thing, I did some dialectical behaviour therapy for a bit, CBT, again, that way. I just do that rather than announce, and it was a values thing. Like, what do you value? What are your values, right? And that was quite easy initially. I think it's a bit harder, but I could go, yep, give me some pointers and parameters. Yep, that I'm pretty like self-reflective enough to know like what they are. And they're not, I don't think, some of them are quite weirdly specific, and so you do, write down, and then really another thing where it's sort of like situations, just are you in line with them? And and it's a good exercise. There were a few bits, and I was like, no, I'm really not actually. I haven't really, not really. But I would say that's authentic for me. If you're in line, if you believe certain things, and say them, and think they're valuable and have it's a value, and you're living that way. You walk the walk rather than, talk the talk. Mm, Great word, value signaling, that I heard the other day. I hadn't heard it before. Whoa, that's a thing in the world. Value signalers, I don't wear them on, I don't have them as my value, I don't have them on a tote bag or a t-shirt, just out of us. Yeah, you've got to watch someone who signals their values. But anyway, that was the closest I could get to whatever they mean when they say most authentic self. And not my problem, I don't know what they're talking about. If they can't explain it, it's their problem, why they say it. Yeah, maybe a soul. If you're a Christian, I can see Christian, a soul, and God, when you're living in line with God, Holy Spirit's flowing through you. That, I can see that. But no, you don't. You mean that? No. Right. If you're Oprah, your inner child, maybe, or Shirley MacLaine, your inner child. I don't know, whatever that is. It sounds to me like you might have eaten a child, but maybe, I don't know, soul. I don't think about that. So identity is not something that concerns me much. Don't think about it much. Not very important to me. I suppose the reason I thought to say that was it's come up, and again that way. But I remembered reading Eve Sedgwick's. It was Epistemology of the Closet, book I read a lot. She's got these axioms or self-evident truths at the beginning. And one of them's axiom 1: people are different to each other, from each other. Can't remember the phrasing, and then she's like, it's amazing how few tools we have of really dealing with that conceptually. True, we're different to each other. But one of them it's about orientation, sexual identity, I suppose, orientation. And for some people it's very, very a big preoccupation and very important that they're this, right? I'm a straight person, gay person, and for other people, just not so much. There's not so much. It's not about being on a scale, Kinsey scale or a spectrum. It's just not so important. It's a weight, a value, I suppose. Not a value, but it's a weighting it has in their life. And for me, I suppose, is that true? Yeah, that's true for me in sexual identity, orientation, different frameworks. I would describe myself differently. Tell me what your framework and understanding is, and then I'll slot into it, and that's what I am. Blame me if you've got a weird framework. And identity in general, not something I sit around thinking about. Who am I? But if it is something that someone thinks about a lot, I wouldn't necessarily pathologize it, make it think it was a problem. I'd just be curious as to, what do you mean? Asking that question doesn't mean my identity's unstable. I'm pretty consistent. That's a sad thing to have to say. No, it's good, that's fine. Description box. Oh God, come on. Where have you gone?